What's going on, X-Men fans? It's me, the X-Men guy, and today we're going to be talking about my thoughts and my review on the first two episodes of X-Men 97. Now, this will be a spoiler review, so if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. But yeah, let's get into the video. Let me just get straight to the point. If you are an X-Men fan, you are going to like this show. It encapsulates everything that X-Men is, and if you're new to the X-Men, or if you've never read an X-Men comic, watched an X-Men show, or watched an X-Men movie before, this is a great starting on point. So, the first episode is basically a way to introduce you to the X-Men, and I think it works perfectly as that. Of course, we have our point of view character in Sunspot, and he is being rescued by the X-Men in the opening scene. And I really like how they encapsulated and introduced us to the personalities and powers of the X-Men. I think the way that they show in the beginning battle all the X-Men using their powers and kind of giving little bits of their personality each at a time, I think is really cool. And then as we go back to the mansion, even better, we really get a sense that this is a family, and it really takes you back to the original 90s series. It's nice to see all the different dynamics back again, and even some new ones, like the dynamic in between Jubilee and Sunspot. I thought that was really good. And also the animation. The animation is great. I think they're in the first episode, not really the second episode, but the first episode, there are some moments where I thought it was a little weird looking. I don't know if maybe I'm not used to it, but there are some camera angles that I thought were weird. But other than that, by the time the second episode rolls around, I think it's great. The fight scenes are amazing. I think it takes everything from the 90s animation and just elevates it to our modern day. Yeah, so the first episode we see the X-Men rescuing Sunspot from the Friends of Humanity, who are a mutant hate group, and fighting off the Friends of Humanity. And we get the reveal that Cyclops and Jean, well, Jean is pregnant, and Cyclops is the father, obviously. And I think it sets up a very interesting storyline where Cyclops and Jean might leave the X-Men. And we see this develop throughout the two episodes. And at the end of the episode, it's revealed Magneto is the headmaster of the school, or the new headmaster of the school, now that Charles Xavier died. And he left the school and all of its duties to Magneto. Now, obviously, this is taking from the, I think it was 1985, 1985 to like the 1990 comics, where Magneto is actually the headmaster of the school, and those are like my favorite era of X-Men comics, so I'm really excited to see all of those adapted. And where we really get into the great stuff is the second episode. Also, I would like to mention, before we get into the second episode, in the opening title sequence, when we see Morph get surrounded by Mr. Sinister, I am so hyped for Mr. Sinister to be in this. Mr. Sinister is my favorite X-Men villain. Obviously, since Madeline Pryor is in this show, we're gonna get Inferno, and I'm so excited. Can't wait for that. But anyway, into the second episode. The second episode is so great. I think it's probably better than most of the episodes of the animated series. It perfectly encapsulates the X-Men 200 Trial of Magneto story. And the redemption of Magneto. I generally thought Magneto was going to turn evil once he saw that Storm had her powers taken from her. And it's really an emotional moment. And you see why Magneto is doing this. Like, you're able to sympathize with him, and this is why Magneto is one of the best villains of all time. You're able to see why he's doing all of this, and you're kind of on his side. Like, obviously, you don't want him to kill these people, and especially the judges who are innocent. They didn't do anything, other than kind of not like mutants, but also they obviously don't like Magneto. He's a terrorist, but I think the way they got you to kind of be on his side, but also you don't want him to mess things up for the X-Men and for himself. And then they switch it around. He ends up being like, I would have done this, I would have killed you, but now I'm not going to, which leads to him, obviously, getting a pardon, and I think it's really cool. The sad thing is, like, Storm getting depowered is very sad. I'm like, that was probably the saddest moment in here. And just seeing her leave the note she left for Jean. Oh, and Jean has the baby, who, if you don't read the comics, is either one of two people. It's either Cable or it's X-Man, depending on what universe it is. Hopefully it's Cable and not X-Man, but who knows? Maybe Age of X-Man is coming. But yes, Storm leaving the X-Men. I'm really excited to see where that goes. Maybe she'll do all the storyline where she's with the Native Americans and stuff, and I think she tries to save Forge or something. Forge is evil or something. It's confusing. It's convoluted. I need to go back and read the comics. It's been a while, but yeah. And then at the end of the episode, Madeline Pryor comes at the door, or they think it's Jean. It's not officially Madeline Pryor yet, but who else is a clone of Jean? All right. Sorry for anybody who didn't read the comics or didn't know. That's kind of a spoiler, but it's not really. But yeah, this is just a great episode overall. Both of these episodes are great, but the second episode is even better. I try and not give too much away, because even though it's a spoiler review, I know some people don't care about spoilers. Go watch this. Go watch this right now, because it's amazing. If you already watched it, rewatch it. And yeah, I'm excited for this series to go on, and I'm so happy that it's getting a second season and maybe a third. So we'll see where the show goes. I might be covering each episode either on here or on my second channel or podcast, the X-Men Dude. But yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this was. Overall, I'd give the first episode 7.5 out of 10, and then the second episode a 9 out of 10, or 9.5 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's all for now. See you guys later.